What's up, everybody? What's up, Josh? How we feeling out there in H-Town? We already have a lot of excited commenters on here. I think I feel 5 years lighter. 5 years lighter because that's how much is off my life right now. Josh, are you an emotional wreck in the same way that I am?
I think I'm still shaking. Yeah, it was God, I mean, they had so many chances to scratch across a couple insurance runs, after some bloops and getting on base early, and they had a lot of great opportunities there, and of course they made it just like a nail biter. And how about, I just got to say, Chas McCormick, that's one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life.
It's clearly the play of the night in a night in which there were a lot of good plays to be made. Some really clutch performances by a lot of people on both sides of the ball, quite frankly, or both teams. If we're being honest, that was a really, really, really well played game. We finally got our pitchers duel. We finally got it. We got a really close score. The Astros bullpen finally gives up a run in this postseason. And yet they're able to somehow hold that lead by the tips of their nails, and are able to close out and take Game 5 and taking a series lead 3-2. This series could not be any closer. Both teams came into Game 5 tied, a win or 2 wins each, and also tied with the same amount of runs in the series as well. So you couldn't get any closer. In true to form, Astros strike early. Here come the Phillies to strike early. It was one of these games. This series has been, we've talked about it several times. It has been a heavyweight bout. 2 heavyweight fighters just exchanging blows in the ring, and it's been something to be seen. And I feel like we've been at the receiving end of it, just because of how incredibly emotional and what a roller coaster ride this series has been, and what this game specifically has been, because I really do think this kind of encapsulates the series. Josh, outside of that catch, what's something that sticks out to you in this game?
Oh man, so much. Verlander gets his first World Series victory. That's a big one, right?
It's huge.
We could stop talking about that now. It happened. Right. And for him to come out as early as he did, and just he was fantastic early. I know he gave up that homer to Schwarber, but he really kind of found it when we needed him to find it. He got it together. I mean, just so impressive. Just to get that done. Abreu was great again. A lot of people, I will just throw a couple things. A lot of people, Montero was kind of scaring him there.
Sure.
And I even tweeted something out, just like, they've seen him, it seems like 1,000 times now, the Mariners. So,
right.
Eventually it's not going to go great, So
tell that to Brian Abreu.
Yeah.
Like that, Brian Abreu looks absolutely filthy. I was questioning Dusty bringing him back out to extend him across the second inning.
Yep.
He did. It worked out. Spoiler. It was really good. I mean, tonight, Dusty made some, I wondered if we would be more aggressive in pulling Justin Verlander. He allowed Justin Verlander to work through some really rocky first innings, and that allowed Justin Verlander to be in position to get his first World Series win, which is amazing considering his storied career, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But
yeah,
like you said, now we don't have to talk about it anymore, because that was such a tired narrative coming into it. I want to welcome everybody in. This is the Sports Map Houston World Series Game 5 post-game show between the Astros and Phillies. Our final score tonight, 3-2. The score was 3-2. The series now 3-2. This series could not be any closer. This is really, really some of the most entertaining baseball you'll see. This is, as billed, the hottest team coming out of the National League side of the bracket versus the American League's best. And this is living up to the billing. Prior to tonight, neither team had lost back-to-back games in the postseason. Prior to tonight and last night, the Phillies hadn't lost at home in the postseason. Now they've lost 2 straight. How about those Astros?
it's so much to get to. I mean, Altuve coming out, setting the tone. And what I loved about Altuve tonight, yeah, he's not ripping the ball off the wall or anything like that, but he's seeing the ball really well. I mean, just pitches that he was spitting on that were pitches he's been swinging at wildly
Yes.
until tonight. Making contact, getting on base, and then Jeremy Pena. What else can we say about this guy? I mean, Jordan has done nothing. In fact, Jordan almost killed you in the first inning when he got Pena thrown out at second on that hit and run when he swung at a neck-high fastball, which continued to be a trend all night. So thank goodness for Jeremy Pena and Alex Bregman. I mean, they come through. When one guy doesn't come through, another guy does. And I will say, I hope Yuli's okay. That
Yes.
like a nasty hit to the head that Yuli took. And it was unfortunate because it looks like he got hit in the head with the helmet on, and then the knee came from behind after the helmet was off and caught him in the back of the head. So let's hope Yuli's all right. And after we saw, and hey, props to Mancini for the great defensive play.
Yeah, how about that?
At the plate. Yep. And that was ugly. So I hope Yuli is okay to come back. Obviously, hopefully a day off will do him some good.
And hopefully this defensive play from Mancini, maybe that gets him going. Maybe that gets his confidence going. I mean, again, I think Smoltz said, did he catch the ball or did the ball catch him? I mean, it definitely was coming at him, but a great pick, great play.
Yeah.
For literally one of the biggest moments in the game, in a game full of big moments. Yeah. And we're going to get to and break it all down. Just want to remind everybody.
Big ups, Ryan Presley. That was impressive.
Yeah. Well, let me give you guys a spoiler alert who my freaking MVP of this game is going to be. But before we get to that, I want to give a word for Academy Sports and Outdoors. Josh, the World Series is here. And there's one place to get your Astros World Series gear. We're this much closer to being able to buy some new shirts that I'm sure Academy Sports and Outdoors will have. They have all of the good brands. You can shop online. What kind of gear are you looking to buy? If they, like when the next time you go to Academy to buy some Astros gear, what kind of gear are you looking to buy?
Man, I'm a cap guy. I'm a big t-shirt guy. So I'm probably going to go for the t-shirt and the cap. And I like it because they have all the officially licensed stuff over at Academy. They're the official sporting goods retailer of the Astros. So you get the real stuff, the real licensed products with them. And they had the best prices at Academy. So, I mean, it's a win-win. And they have everything for the whole family. Christmas is coming up. We talked about this the other day. What a better time to get some Astros gear for the whole family at a great deal. And they have new stuff coming in every day. So you're going to want to head to academy.com because you can find all kinds of new stuff coming in and the top brands, best prices. Get over to Academy. Get over there tomorrow. There's an off day. Perfect day to go to Academy. I know you're going to be at those watch parties, guys. I know a lot of you are going to be at Game 6. Go get some new gear at Academy. It's the best time to do it.
Don't buy from those dudes that are selling out of the back of their car. It's not good. Just go get the real stuff. You mentioned Pena and Bregman. I want to talk about Altuve and Pena. It just seemed like they were on base, lead off, like just single, just so many times. Syndergaard, you didn't really know what you were going to get out of Noah Syndergaard. He gives the Phillies 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and a single home run to Jeremy Pena, who we keep saying that I'm running out of words to describe Jeremy Pena's postseason, and it's just magical. Maybe that's the new one.
The word, yeah.
That's my new, let's do this. Let's ask everybody in the comments what they think of Jeremy Pena's postseason. Like give us, Jeremy Pena's postseason in a single word. I want to talk about the biggest moments in the night. I thought top of the first sets the tone. Back-to-back hits from Altuve and Pena to scratch across that run early. And that was such a big deal. Now, granted, you mentioned it. It's one of their missed opportunities there. So Jordan and Pena gets caught in a strike them out, throw them out, and really got Syndergaard off the hook early because it really felt like they could have really applied some pressure to Noah Syndergaard in that top of the first with Jordan and Pena reaching. And it was like energizing for Syndergaard to be able to get out of that, to be able to have that mess cleaned up so quickly with the strike him out, throw him out. You really just missed an opportunity to put some pressure on the Phillies there. But you did set the tone early by scratching across a run. But here comes Verlander in the bottom of the first. Kyle Schwarber answers back immediately. What were your initial thoughts once you saw the bat leave the barrel of Schwarber?
Well, we were texting, and I just felt like Verlander missed. He didn't get it up quite high enough. He let Schwarber get extended, and that was a no doubter. But Schwarber's a great hitter, man. I hate when that guy comes up to bat. I've really come to appreciate what a great baseball player he is. And that just showed you right there.
Harper's frightening, Real Muto's frightening,
yes.
and Schwarber is frightening. Like those guys are absolutely terrifying when they're behind the plate. And I'm sure it's much like when you have Alex Bregman coming up to plate, or if you have Jeremy Pena coming up to plate. It used to be that way with Jordan, and I'm not that teams aren't still fearful for him, but like he just hasn't been able to really put it together. It's really amazing that the Astros are a win away from clinching the entire thing and haven't gotten a real meaningful contribution from Jordan since the second game of the first series of the postseason. That's amazing.
He did get drilled in the kidney for you last night.
Yeah,
that got you a run.
He did get the rally started.
He had a ground ball to first base that I believe drove in a run in the first inning. Is that correct?
He did. It was a little grounder up the side that ended up turning into an RBI.
He didn't strike out or spike himself.
It was effective. There'd be some more of that later. But yeah, that was a big moment. Was I think in the first, just like not being tight. Going out there attacking. And then bottom of the second, I thought was really big for Justin Verlander. He has bases loaded and gets Hoskins swinging to strand the bases loaded. That was huge. That was really, really, really gigantic.
Slider came out today.
Yeah. I want to go through that. So there's two quick pop-ups to Bohm and Stott to start the inning, and you thought, okay, good. Like, Verlander's going to settle in here. And then Segura gets that 2-out single, and then Marsh draws a walk. And
he hit a corner there too. There was some questionable umpiring on that.
For sure.
And throughout the whole game.
For the whole game, it was really inconsistent. I will say it was inconsistent both sides. There were moments when both sides were getting the benefit of some calls or not getting the calls, as the case were. But Marsh draws a walk, which is just never what you want to do. You don't want to walk Marsh. That's the guy who you want
to Schwarber.
Yeah, no. Exactly. So, and then Schwarber walks the bases loaded.
JV was wild right there. I texted you. I'm just like, he doesn't know where the fastball's going right now.
It was scary times. It was really scary times. Josh Miller comes out, visits on the mound.
Hey, a mound visit, Brandon.
I thought of you. I thought of you when it happened, because I was like, this is the mound visit we've been talking about. Where's Josh Miller? Josh Miller comes out, mound visit, gives JV a blow. Hoskins strikes out swinging.
3 sliders, by the way. They were like, don't even bother with your fastball, and it worked. Yeah,
it was great. That was great. And then, we get to the bottom of the third, and you can see he's like starting to or settle in a little bit. I think Harper walks.
Got the K.
Yeah, Real Muto strikes out swinging. Harper walks. Castellanos lines out sharply to Pena.
Incredible play by Pena.
That was. Bohm singles to left, so you got 2 on. So here we go again. More traffic in the bottom of the third. But Stott flies out to Tucker, and then you're good.
Do you think the Harper walk was like they're kind of pitching around him on purpose, or was just like, we'll try and get him, but if I don't get him on my pitch, I'm fine with letting him walk? Because it kind of seemed like that was the approach for most of the night with Harper.
Yeah, and you'd much rather let the other guys beat you than Harper. You know what I mean? Like Harper could do more damage than Castellanos can, or even Bohm. And Like, I know Bohm singled in that, but that's the difference is Bohm gets a hold of one and it's a single. Harper gets a hold of one and it's in the seats. So you just have to be really careful with these guys. These guys are, it's like nitroglycerin or sticks of dynamite. It's just, you have to be really careful around them. And JV showed enough caution on a night when he clearly didn't have his best stuff in the beginning of this game, but he was able to power through. And that is, we always talk about that during the season, is it's the sign of a really good pitcher when you don't have your best stuff and you can still go power through it. JV did not have his best stuff tonight and was still able to get a World Series win, his first World Series win in his entire career, which was really, really amazing. One of the next big play is top of the fourth, Pena's solo home run. Again, like what can you say about this guy? This dude is just, and then rounding the bases with the Jordan shrug, like that's, dude.
And it was on a curveball, his kryptonite, dude, and he gets a hanger and knocks it out of the park.
Young man, you have no business being this good and this confident in the World Series. You know what? This is what it feels like being on the other side of an Alex Bregman, or this is what it feels like being on the other side of a Juan Soto.
Or an Arozarena.
Or an Randy Arozarena kind of guy. Yeah, for sure. Oh my God. Pena's in the middle. We've said this for three series now. Pena's in the middle of everything. When there's something going on, Pena's usually setting the table for it, or he's cashing it in.
Or on defense.
And tonight he did both.
Yeah.
Tonight he set the table and he cashed in by hitting a solo home run. And yeah, his defense was ridiculous. The defense was ridiculous tonight. And that's how you keep a potent offense like the Phillies throttled to 2 runs over 2 games, which is you clamp down on your pitching and your defense. And on night in which you were asking a lot out of your pitching, you were asking Verlander, who didn't have his best stuff, to go as deep as he could and qualify for that win. You were asking your bullpen, who's been used, to come out there and do it again. Come out there, Hector Neris, come out and do your thing. Hector didn't look quite sharp, but he was able to battle through, sets it up for Brian Abreu.
He's nasty.
Who's just filthy. Dude, that's another one of those guys where I'm sure the Phillies are absolutely tired of seeing that dude. Between him and Presley, and man, just Presley with a 5-out save. Like, what's he gonna do? Start game 7? Like, this dude, like, they've asked a lot of him in this postseason.
Get him a wheelbarrow, Brandon.
Yeah. No, he looks like that goat video. And you know which one I'm talking about. No, it's amazing, man. You can't even really. We're running out of superlatives to describe Jeremy Pena. But I know that the one place that if you're looking for World Series gear, we're brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. So just really quickly, just want to remind everybody, get your World Series gear at Academy Sports and Outdoors. The bottom of the 5th, this was another really big moment, inducing the pop-up to Castellanos to strand Harper at second. That was really big. And top of the 8th, let's stick with JV though. I want to go through JV's night though, because JV settles in after that bottom of the 3rd where he strands 2. He's pitched 55 pitches through 3 at that point. So he gets to the bottom of the 4th, and now he only needs 12 pitches to get to the bottom of the 4th. He gets Segura ground out to Pena, which was a fantastic play.
Yep.
Wow. Pena's so freaking clutch.
Yeah.
He gets Marsh looking on a strikeout that burns off the outer corner. Beautiful pitch, beautiful placement. That is Justin Verlander. That is who Justin Verlander is burning off outside corners like that and catching you looking. And then, because that's what you should do with the Brandon Marsh. Don't walk Brandon Marsh.
No.
Burn that corner on Brandon Marsh. Dare him to hit that. And then Kyle Schwarber strikeout looking on a wicked curve. That's
Uncle Charlie came calling.
Yeah, over the top. And just caught Schwarber looking. So his last 2 strikeouts were looking. So now he's got 67 pitches through 4. That takes us to the bottom of the 5th. And he gets Hoskins looking. He gets Real Muto swinging for the first 2 outs. And then Harper doubles on a 2-2 fastball. Down
Middle.
115 miles per hour off the bat. You can't hit it much harder without getting it out of the park.
All fastballs. I mean, that's in my notes. I'm just like, mix it up, Justin. Like, I get it. Fastball is his kryptonite, but if he knows he's going to get nothing but that, even if it's out of the zone, just show him something else. But unfortunately, that one was middle. He crushed it, and we were lucky that didn't end up in the stands.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. You hit a ball 115 miles an hour, but we talked about this. Like, people are so tired of hearing us talking about this, but when you get these deep postseason runs, you need luck.
Yeah,
and that was lucky. I will say some things didn't bounce our way. That Alex Bregman double that bounced off the top of the fence, that could have been
flowers.
Yeah, that could have very well been a home run, but wasn't. But Jeremy Pena, being able to make these amazing defensive plays. Trey Mancini, amazing defensive play, and obviously Chas McCormick, bottom of the 9th, amazing defensive play off the wall. You need that. You need a little luck. You need the ball to stay in the park. The ball off of that was off of it was Real Muto, right? Who hit the ball way to center, the one that Chas ended up catching.
Yes, it was.
Incredible
catch.
They said on the broadcast, they think the reason it didn't go was because of the weather. The ball it was a little cold, I guess, there. And the ball, I guess, didn't travel as much, was kind of what they were attributing to. He thought he got it. And if anything, he got robbed of extra bases because it looked like that thing was going to bounce off the wall, and Chas just went and got it first. I mean, that's an Andrew Jones play, for those old enough to remember watching the Braves back in the day. Andrew Jones, amazingly athletic center fielder, was everywhere always with the defense. And that it looked like an absolute Andrew Jones play where he just chased it down and got it at the apex of the ball as it was about to hit the wall. He just grabs it and steals it.
And he held on. I was worried it might pop out when he hit the ground because he really had to leap to get up there, and then he crashed into the wall, and then you hit the ground and you have to hold it through that. And oh man, incredible hands. Clutch.
It looked like it was happening in slow motion too.
Yes.
Because the ball seemed like it stayed up in the air forever. Yep. And he's running. You're worried, like you're thinking, like, is he going to get there?
Yeah.
And then for him to be able to get up and actually make that play. We have watched this team struggle with center field the entire year, trying to figure out, where does Dubon fit? Where does Jake Myers fit? Who's going to take that full-time center field job? This dates back into last year when Miles Straw was the center fielder, who Chas McCormick came up and displaced Miles Straw. McCormick starts playing. And then they have to trade away Straw because they won't stop playing Straw over McCormick and Myers. And then Myers ends up taking that role because Myers goes on a tear and goes into the postseason, gets hurt. And you never know how that's going to play. Myers has never really been the same player since. And Chas has had to kind of share duties in center field with Myers, with Dubon. And
it was a Verlander start very often in the regular season. That would be Dubon in center field.
Yeah.
And he's a fine center fielder, but McCormick made the play, and that's all that matters. You're glad he was out there. He was also 0 for 4 today, so nice to see. And like Mancini, I didn't get it done with my bat, but I can still help my team win.
Yeah, that's a moment where you and I were talking about it. I think on the show yesterday, or maybe even after the show. It's like, Mancini wants to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And he wants to feel like he's contributing. Like, he just doesn't want a participation ring. Like, he actually wants, and that play, guess what, brother? You earned your ring. Like, if you get it, if Astros close it, then you've earned it. Like, so not, it's clearly not over yet. These teams are way too talented and way too close.
Yeah.
And Astros fans don't have short memory. Remember, 3-2 going home means nothing.
Yeah.
You got to close the deal. And you're going to catch a cornered animal in the Phillies. They're not going to go down quietly. These guys are scrappers, and they're going to give you everything they got. And they do have a puncher's chance of being able to come back in this series. But you would much rather be in this position, up 3-2, going home, Fromber on the mound Saturday for a possible closeout Game 6. And then, who knows what's on Game 7.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be an all hands on deck moment.
And you got to think it's Wheeler for them, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I was listening to Pedro Martinez. He was on the MLB Network today, and he's like, I don't have any proof of this, but he's like, I'm telling you, like, if you're an ace, you're a starting pitcher like this, like, you'd be pitching in today's game at home where you're comfortable, with the chance to go to Houston with the lead. He's like, something's, and we saw that he had a downtick in his velocity in that start against the Astros.
Yeah.
And so Pedro's like, they're not telling us that. He's like, something's up with him.
Right.
Like, he should have been pitching today. And they're like, and then the jet lag, he's like, this doesn't make sense to me. He's like, I don't think
it makes sense. He's got a tired arm. That's what makes sense. It's been kind of the quiet narrative that's been going on for a couple of days now. Whenever they announced that he was going to be a game 7 or 6, regardless.
Yeah.
And so, when we saw Syndergaard get scheduled for this game, and that pushed out Wheeler's start, that raised a lot of red flags, because, like you said, there's an indication there with his velo down in that second game. He's in the same situation Nola is, which is Nola hit a wall. Nola got to the end of the year, and this happens to a lot of folks, happens to a lot of pitchers, is a lot of guys have never pitched this deep into a season. And this is, you're using what's left. And Nola's pitched a lot this season, a lot of innings, and he got here. There wasn't much left in the tank. And the same thing could be true for Wheeler. Wheeler did not have a good showing in Game 2.
Nope. And
they're clearly concerned about being able to rest his arm, giving him the additional day and pushing him until the Game 6 start, and allowing Noah Syndergaard to pitch in this game, because Noah Syndergaard has been a giant question mark for them. So, and credit to Noah. Noah Syndergaard didn't lose this game for them. I mean, he walks away as the loser of this game, but this is not on. He pitched a really good game, and you hold the Astros to 3 runs at home. That's what you should be. That's what you're aiming for. The score on the opponent side of the ledger for the Phillies is where they wanted it. They wanted to be able to limit the Astros to 3 runs. But the Astros bullpen just comes through again, and Justin Verlander finally gets his much maligned, he's at least been talking about it enough. We've made much ado about a World Series win. He's got it. And if you want some World Series merch and you want to say, I got it, then you should go to Academy Sports and Outdoors. They are your place. They are your official source for all your World Series merch for the Astros. And you can get the best brands: Nike, New Balance, 47 brand. And the weather might eventually get cold, and you might need a hoodie. Get you an Astros hoodie. If it rains again, if it ever rains again, then you need a slicker. Astros slicker is pretty cool. Josh rocks the baseball caps. I like a good baseball cap while I'm out walking my dog.
Yep.
I like having a good hoodie, like good, comfortable hoodie around the house. You can't beat that. Get an Astros hoodie. So check it all out. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Go by your local Academy store. You just go online and see where they're at, or you can shop at academy.com. They got the best prices for the whole family. Go check them out. So let's go to the bottom of the fifth. This is JT's final inning here, and he gets Hoskins looking, Real Muto swinging.
Yep.
And then Harper doubles.
Yeah.
And then Castellanos pops up, and then that's it. And that's the night for Justin Verlander. And
I would like to bring up one thing on that Castellanos at bat. It's just that, he hit a foul ball near the third baseline that was almost, big trouble, with Harper on second base, but it went foul. And then once again, what we talked about, the mound visits, this time Maldi goes to the mound to talk to JV here.
Yeah.
And then he fouls off a nasty curveball. I don't know how he got a piece of it. And then after that, he gets him to pop up to Jordan. So once again, when we were talking about go out there, talk to JV, see how he's feeling, give him a breather, put a game plan together. This is the game. Harper's on second. You got to get this guy. And they did. So nice to see the Astros make that adjustment. And because they've always done that in the past. We've wondered, like, what's going on? So really cool to see them do that. And it worked. And of course, that's the most important thing.
Trevor says, I was kicking myself with all the missed opportunities on offense. I kind of want to talk about that because, we talked about the top of the fourth where Pena hits the home run. Bregman hits a double right after that. And then Tuck just misses.
Yes.
A homer, just misses it. Like, he pulls it foul, but it was a monster home run as far as distance goes, but it just is outside the pole. And then ends up, I think he ends up did he strike out in that?
Yeah, he had a ball called a strike on him, by the way. That was the one inside that was off the plate inside. That was the one where Tucker looked at the ump and was just like, really? Yeah. You could just tell what they were talking about right there. And it's unfortunate because like that was some heat up and in, and then he ends up striking out on a change up down. So, it's really hard when you have to protect a bigger plate up and in, and then you still got to protect, slow and low and outside. So that didn't help him, that's for sure. And then after that, I believe it was Gurriel got some bad calls against him before he struck out to end the inning. So yeah, that was a tough one there. I was really hoping they'd be able to scratch one across. And then just quickly, the other thing I noticed in that at bat is that Jordan, when he was facing Brogdon, he came in, he got back-to-back changeups. Jordan did. And remember when that used to be Jordan's jam? Like nobody wanted to throw him a changeup. Well, he gets back-to-back changeups, doesn't do anything with him, and then he strikes out on a high fastball. So it's clearly, he's just not seeing it well.
Another one of those missed opportunities was Dominguez getting out of a jam in the top of the seventh. Yuli gets stranded at third after a leadoff bloop double, and then he's able to get to third, and then Hensley, McCormick, and Maldi all ground out weakly, and it was infuriating.
Yes,
Yuli had really no business being on second to begin with but just the nature of the bloop that he hit.
Yeah. But he was running the whole time. That's why he got to second. Yeah. He didn't give up on it. That's good baseball right there.
It is. And the ball bounces out of the center fielder's glove and into left field and allows Yuli to be able to take the base. But they don't bring him home, and it's kind of a theme throughout the night. Yeah. Like this, I don't think this game should have been as close as it was. I'm glad of the outcome. I'm happy with the outcome, but it really just seems like it seemed like there were guys on third stranded the entire night. It really did. And, Goya mentions, is Yuli okay? We should talk about that play. So
we don't know. He got replaced by Mancini. He did come back out after that play and play first base. And then it looked like he was having a headache. He wasn't feeling right. Mancini comes in for him. So But we don't know with Yuli. We'll have to see.
Yeah. So it starts off with that leadoff bloop double in the 7th, and he advances to third on a wild pitch. He tried to come home on Chaz's grounder. And it was just so frustrating because these guys just could not lift anything in the air. Everything was on the ground, like 3 weak grounders in a row. And he tries to come home on Chaz's grounder and gets caught in a rundown. And he gets caught in the rundown because he's trying to extend the rundown to allow Chaz to get second, which he did.
Yeah,
he was able to do that. But when he pulls up, he's trying to turn, gets hit in the head as he's sliding down, and also his knee kind of gets bent too behind him. None of it looked good. None of it was ideal, to say the least. Right knee was as MZ says, and Jeremy. Yeah, the knee didn't look good, but he was holding his head on the bench. So all we can hope for is that it gets out of, that there's no concussion protocol, or that, he's not suffering from concussion symptoms. You can't afford to lose a guy that's hitting 340 for you in the playoffs.
His first strikeout of the postseason.
Yeah.
Wasn't that tonight? Yeah.
So
we hadn't seen that the whole time. So we hopefully Yuli's okay there. And I think that was probably the right move, Brandon, to kind of force the action on that play, because with Maldonado coming up after that, I didn't think they had a great chance of scoring that run. If Yuli had stayed at third.
Yeah, I was kind of torn because I was like, should they pinch hit for Vasquez here? But then Maldi had been on base. Maldi. For as much as we talked about, Maldi and his offense during the season, Maldi's, flies out to center field in the 3rd inning, strikes out swing in the 5th, grounds to shortstop, and strands McCormick at 2nd. But in the 9th, Maldi hits a 1-out single the other way. So if you sub him out, if you sub out Vasquez, then maybe you miss out on the hit that Maldi gets you. Now, granted, doesn't come around anyway, and they again waste another opportunity in the 9th. But the point is Maldi's been giving you something, and the bottom of the order in general has been giving you something. You even saw David Hensley, who I was shocked to see as the DH tonight. I was shocked that I really thought if you listened to last night or watched us last night, I said I had no doubts that Mancini was going to be the DH tonight. And it turns out to be Hensley.
Yeah. And he got a hit. Both times he's DH'd, he's gotten a hit.
Yep. And he got an infield hit. And that is substantial. I know it's not much, but Trey Mancini's not running that out. If Trey Mancini grounds into something like that, he's not running that out. And I also would be, I don't know. Diaz doesn't look like himself lately, so I would wonder whether Diaz would be able to run that out. But Diaz hasn't been able to even put the ball in the bat, so I don't even know that Diaz would have been in that situation. But it effectively works as a bunt for him, and he's able to get on. So yeah, you actually got something out of Hensley's spot tonight.
A designated hitter got another hit.
Yep,
we'll take it.
And so I think in the entire series, they've only gotten, I think that was the 6th hit out of the DH spot for the entire playoffs.
That sounds right, because in this series, I think there's only the 2 from Hensley. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. Who do you want to highlight? Because there's a lot of people here. I mean, obviously we've talked about. My instinct is to talk about this bullpen because. There were some scary moments. Hector Neris comes in after Verlander's done.
Yep.
And Neris gives up a leadoff single to Bohm right out of the gate to right field. Stott flies out to Tucker, who excuse me. Tucker makes a great last-minute catch. Him and
Jazz,
McCormick are colliding there.
Yeah, that was scary. It looked like nobody really called it. I was worried about that for sure. But
Tucker just kind of casually steps in at the
yeah,
last minute, is able to catch it. And then he gets Segura's a strikeout swing on a fastball away. And then I was very surprised to see Dusty come out and hook him that early. I thought he would allow him to finish the inning. He goes and he gets Abreu. Now, this is not without drama because Abreu drills Marsh on the first pitch. And now
in the knee, that looked like that hurt.
Yeah. And so now you've got, and trust me, like as much as it hurt, Marsh is going to take it because now he's on base. There's 2 on now for Schwarber. So he's like, oh boy, here you go. Here's the drama here. And Schwarber grounds out to Altuve in the shift, and he strands Bohm and Marsh for the 3rd out. That was a huge play for Brian Abreu to be able to get out of there. He re-enters in the bottom of the 7th, which I was surprised at. I really didn't think we'd see that. But he comes in, strikeouts Hoskins looking, strikes out Real Muto looking, and then gets Harper to pop up to Breggy and just cruising along. That was amazing, man. Like Brian Abreu, hats off, man. I'm not wearing one, but hats off to you, Brian Abreu.
Dude, he's been so good, and so
you don't get this far without him.
No, God, no. And I will. And a lot of people are like, "Where the hell is Stanek?" Especially when Montero was starting to struggle a little bit. Should have drilled Harper for what they did to Yordan last game. Oh, Mary, that's funny. Trust me, it crossed my mind. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting though. They had Stanek up when JV was looking a little sketch early on in the game. I think it was maybe the 2nd or 3rd. Stanek was up just in case, and then later in the game, and I was a little worried about Montero. You know, our old John Granado was talking with Lance today on the morning show on ESPN 97.5, and Lance is like, "Why don't you trust Montero? I know he kind of had a little, a little stretch in like July where he wasn't great, or August, and he was like, he's been great." And John's like, "He just makes me so nervous." And tonight was one of those nights when Montero came in for me because you walk a guy, and then I believe there was another batter, and then he walks a guy on 4 straight pitches. That's when you're just like, dude, this is a close game. You can't be walking guys on 4 straight pitches like that. That will get you beat.
He gets Castellanos. Castellanos leadoff walk. Bohm strikes out swinging for the 1st out, and then Stott walks on 4 pitches.
4 straight pitches.
That was aggravating. And then Segura hits the RBI single to left. Castellanos scores. Bohm to 3rd. That makes it 3-2 Astros. It was scary. And
Presley comes in, right?
Yeah. Our guy, Paul Gallant, worked in the Seattle market a while, followed Rafael Montero. He's absolutely terrified of Rafael Montero. Look, man, everybody has bad games. And to be fair, Rafael Montero is pitching at a higher level than what he did when he was with Seattle. But that's also very true of a lot of pitchers who come to Houston, is they come here and get their game fixed. Now, Neris was good when he was in Philly. So the Phillies know
gotten better.
Yeah. The Phillies know he's nasty.
Yep.
Brian Abreu, they've worked with him, got him to a place to where he is really, really good. I mean, just unhittable. He's just been unhittable at this point. And they really improved Montero. Montero came over here, I think, with a 7 ERA.
Yeah.
And they were able
and
they were able to straighten him out. You're right. He was a throw-in with Kendall Graveman for Abraham Toro and Joe Smith, I think, were the two people that you traded.
Yeah. Great trade for Click, by the way.
Great trade. Exactly. When we talk about, when we criticize the GM and their move, we also got to say, and there's no doubt about it, guys, James Click filled a hole for this Astros team that Jeff Luhnow was never able to do. The entire time Jeff Luhnow was the GM, the bullpen was a problem. Now, granted, he was in the middle of building a juggernaut, so I understand he couldn't make it perfect.
Sure.
And the longevity of this team and how they've been able to compete in the playoffs year in, year out speaks to the monster that Jeff Luna built. But in fairness, the only reason that Charlie Morton and Lance McCullers have to close out a game 7 of the World Series is because you had 0 arms that you trusted in your bullpen. And that's why you were throwing guys like Brad Peacock and who was a starter for you, but you're trying to piggyback these guys because you don't trust a Ken Giles. You can't trust any of that trash that was coming out of the bullpen for you. James Click came in and immediately was able to make an impact on this bullpen. And not just for the single year that he did it. It wasn't just a matter of, I'm going to trade for these guys that are rentals, who Yimi Garcia was a rental.
Yeah.
And so was Kendall Graveman. But you were able to, he got Stanek. He brought Stanek in, and he also brought in Neris.
Maton.
Yep. And gets Maton, trades for Kendall Graveman and Montero. So really solidified the bullpen. And the bullpen has been so solid for you this entire postseason. If JV pitches a better game 1, this series could be over with.
Oh, 100%. And I have an update here from Dusty on Yuli.
Okay.
But why don't we just mention Academy real quick before we do that update there? Yeah, guys, get over to Academy Sports and Outdoors. We're going to give you an update here on Yuli from Dusty Baker. But, this is the perfect time of year, guys. Astros are coming back home. We got a huge game day after tomorrow. We got Fromber taking the hill. What a perfect time to go to Academy and get a Fromber jersey. Why don't you rock a Fromber jersey for Game 6? It's gonna be awesome. You'll be at the watch parties. You'll be at the sports bar. You'll be hanging out with your buds. You'll have a brand new.
You might be there.
Or you could be at the game rocking that thing, or maybe a Bregman jersey. Whatever you want, they got it all at Academy. That's what's so great, because they got everything in the store, and they have so many stores across Houston and all across Texas, but you also have academy.com. So you can go see what they have and kind of pick out what you like, what you don't like, all the top brands, the best prices. And I mean, it's so easy with Academy. I mean, they're so great. They're awesome for sponsoring the podcast, guy, Academy. So that update here from Dusty is Yuli is day to day with a sore right knee.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So not a head contusion or anything like that. It's a sore right knee.
At least that's what they're saying.
Yeah. He looked. Will we ever see Hunter Brown? Probably not. Not if Dusty can help it. I don't think it's not ideal. Dusty's not trying to bring in a rook to close out a World Series. Yeah, that's interesting. Yuli did look shaken up.
Yeah.
He was holding his head sitting on the bench. Now, was he holding his head because his head was hurting? I mean, I'm sure it was. He took a knee to it.
Yeah.
Or was he holding his head because he has a lower body injury, like a knee that's really bothering him, and he's concerned about not being able to play? So I just wonder, like, what is it that he was thinking when he's got his hands on the bench when we see the long camera shot there. So
yeah,
it will remain to be seen. I would be surprised if we see Yuli at first for Game 6. I think we're going to see Mancini. My hunch is we're going to see Mancini start at first for Game 6.
Then perhaps if Yuli is okay, but the knees bothering him a little, maybe Yuli at DH.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he can still swing a bat.
Yeah. No, we'll see if he can run. That's the other thing too. Yeah. Like if he's good enough to run the bases, you'd almost think that he'd be good enough to play first, just because. It's first. But we'll see. Obviously, we're just speculating. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But it's worrisome. You're almost there.
Yeah.
You're almost to the finish line, but it's still so far ago. You're also 2 losses from blowing it. So
and he's a big part of
Yep.
what they've done this postseason.
Yep. Yeah. DEFCON likes your idea, but
thanks, DEFCON. Hey, if he can run a little bit, get him out there. We saw Jordan playing through the ankle. So this comment right here, was it Doe Baffett?
Doe Buffett. I think it's Doe Buffett. It's very clever.
Very, I see what you did there. Yeah, that's interesting there. McCormick, I've wondered, should they move him up a little bit? Tonight he was not very good with the bat, but overall he has been. So I've often thought that too. Is Chas maybe better served, because sometimes they put him in the 9 hole and you would maybe like him up, when there's some guys on base, when you've had to go to your DH who hasn't been producing. So something to consider for sure.
Interesting question from Trevor is could Hensley play first base? Hensley is an infielder, but they like him on the left side of the infield playing either second or short. I think he can also play third too.
I think he could do it if it's not, what he does a lot, but I think he could do it. I think they see him as a guy that can play some outfield and all the infield positions. That's why he made this roster.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have him playing first in a World Series game. I think you'll most likely see Mancini playing first base in a World Series game.
Especially after what we saw tonight in that play that saved the game.
Yeah, but I concur with Elwood here, that was a good question from Trevor. Trevor's a nightly. Trevor's our. I think Trevor's day one for us. I think Trevor's been on all these live streams. So,
perfect time to remind everybody, please hit like on the videos. Thank you so much for doing it on the last video. It really helps us. It just makes a big difference with the algorithm, costs you nothing. It's a really big deal for us. So if you would please, and we're going to try and keep doing these types of videos. So if you hit like, it'll help us do more.
It is. And we may have something extra in the works.
So please hit like.
Yeah. So please hit like. We could be working on something extra for you if things go well. So got a little something in the works for a live show, more of a special show. So not going to say anything else about it.
Yeah.
It is that time. I'm seeing we're about 8 minutes till here, or we're about 8 minutes left on the broadcast here. This is a time in which we ask everybody who's watching, if after you hit that like button for us, tell us who your game MVP is. Go ahead and put in your votes for game MVP for Game 5. There's probably no wrong answers. I who mine is. Josh, who's your game MVP?
I know who yours is, and I'd like to pick him, but I'm going to go a different direction.
Okay.
And we are being a little secretive there, Mark.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Justin Verlander with all that terrible momentum against him and getting off the schneid like that, and how ugly it got early in the game, and for him to settle in and get through 5, that was huge.
It was huge.
I'm going to give it to JV.
That's very noble. Trevor agrees with you. Trevor says JV. We got another Verlander vote, and Christian has a vote for Pena. That's a really good one too.
Yep.
Palmer's going to go with McCormick. I mean, how can you? That catch was huge.
Saved the game.
Huge. Mary, who's probably one of our smartest contributors, she says team effort. So I'm for that too. Andrew this is a good one.
Ooh.
Dusty, because you know what? I'm sure a lot of us were queasy sending out Justin Verlander in the 3rd. I really thought after he got out of the 2nd inning, I thought, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
Enough. Like let's get Luis Garcia or somebody up now. Like just let's get one of our long relievers up. Frank says JV. Warren says JV.
Hey, Warren's back. All right, Warren.
Yeah, that's our guy Warren. Pena.
Yep.
JV. Pena for the RBIs and Presley. Yeah. Presley for the 5 outs.
I can't argue with that.
That's going to be my vote too. Pena, see with the catch. That was a great catch. You can't discount that either. Pena and Presley both. Presley may be my mom washing my hair wet. Okay. Pena, I'm glad your hair's getting washed. MVP, the whole damn team.
Yeah.
JV, Pena. Clint says Mancini because he saved the lead. I mean, there's a couple of guys who save this. Yes and yes.
Depth of the Astros, right? That we have all these different great answers. What a team effort.
It really does. That's a great takeaway from that, is when you can point to any number of teams. And there's been so many times that you and I disagree on who the MVP for the game is. Now, Palmer's being funny here. Palmer says Stanek. So
he did warm up good. He looked like he was throwing some good pitches in the bullpen.
He made JV realize he needs to get his crap together. Now, I literally don't know how Stanek got buried all of a sudden in the bullpen. It's going to be one of the craziest mysteries. Like, if they close this out, it will be a tiny, tiny little, asterisk on the entire playoff run.
I'm like, did he back out and accidentally hit Dusty's car or something in the parking lot? I don't know what's going on.
He got caught, I don't know, passing memes around about Dusty, and or maybe he sent a critical text about Dusty to Dusty by accident. He sent the thing about someone to that person. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. Let's see if we have any late.
Pena from Sandra there. Man, a lot of Penas. Verlander's brother, Warren, with another zinger.
Jonathan says he hates MVP. Well, it's just a game. It's just a game. But yeah, I agree.
Especially tonight's game. This is a very team game.
Yeah.
Oh, the team gave it to Mancini in the locker. That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, I love when you guys comment and tell us this stuff. It's hard for Brandon and I to keep track of that while we're live with you guys. So, yeah, if y'all want to chime in with some of that stuff, please do.
I mean, Josh tries to watch the post game stuff while I'm talking. He's just like, he can't hear because I'm just busy yammering. He's trying to hear it, but
can you see my TV?
I really do think that this is a tie between Pena and Verlander. I see a lot of Pena. In order, I see JV, Pena, and then Presley.
Yeah.
So,
a lot of McCormick's too.
Yeah.
Mancini's.
A few McCormick's.
No Altuve's I've seen, and he had a nice game, I thought. But, I think some other guys came up in more clutch situations.
Yeah, and that ninth was just an opportunity where you missed an opportunity there. He comes in, I believe it was first and third with one out, or first and second, one out, and then ground. Yeah, it was first and second, one out.
Yeah,
and grounds into an double play to third. He grounds to Bohm.
That was killer.
Yeah, Bohm grabs, fields it. Great play by Bohm. Yeah. Fields it, steps on third, and then throws out Altuve down the line. And again, man, there just felt like there were so many of those plays in which guys were stranded. And I'm sure whatever we're feeling as Astros fans, Philly's feeling is way worse, because they felt like that game was right there. How about the near misses by Schwarber in this series? How about, the foul ball that turned into just a pop out at the wall? And then this game, he, just near misses. Yeah. And real Muto, hitting a laser out to the outfield, and Chas just making a perfect play on. There's so many opportunities that where the Astros have been able to come up clutch and be able to get out of an inning, a crucial, critical inning. And the Phillies just have seemingly been on the wrong side of it. I mean, it's one of those things, we talk about it, where you got to have a lot of fortune, and
we talked about defense too, Brandon. Remember about how that was an edge that the Astros had in this series, was defense. And you saw it with McCormick tonight.
No doubt about it. And the defense has actually been a lot closer than it was advertised.
Pena, yeah, you're right. I've been waiting for the Phillies to start kicking the ball around. I'm like, what the hell? They're playing good defense. I don't like it.
We've only seen it really once or twice in this series. And, the ones I can think of was when they gave up the additional run when it should have been a ground out. And I want to say Yuli, right? Was it Yuli that ran it and they bobbled the throw? But No, it's been this series has been really, really close. The Astros are used to playing really close series, though.
They are.
They swept, and every game except for one was close in all across two series. Never won more than 2 games or 2 runs, I should say, except for the 5-0 win against the Yankees.
That's how they're built. When you're built for pitching, you're going to play in a lot more close games. And we're not used to that as much with this new version of the Astros, where they don't have the 7 deep really anymore.
No, it's really true. But what has allowed them to be successful is they are getting production out of the bottom of their lineup. Maldy's been giving you something this postseason. Chas McCormick's been giving you something postseason. Tonight he didn't give you anything in the bat, but what he gave you was with the leather, and you'll take that in a critical situation.
Swung the game
for him to be able to seal. That was so big. Also, too, we haven't even talked about this, and we're at the 1 hour mark. So for everybody who stayed, who's still on, and there's still a good crowd here. Let me just say, do you guys notice? Is it me, or is Kyle Schwarber look like a fat Chas McCormick?
I could see that a little bit.
Like, have you guys noticed that? Like, I don't want to. I meant to pull this up. I got behind on my duties after, but do you guys know? Like, look at a picture of Kyle Schwarber and tell me that's not like Chas McCormick after a bee sting,
after some cheesesteaks.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I don't know. There was just something that something I noticed. Like, I think I noticed it after it was the post game interview. I kept noticing through the series that the guy looked like somebody. And when he was mad and said he didn't give an F about the combined no hitter, great. I guess we're we're in the history books or something like that. But it was at that exact moment that I said, oh my God. And I meant to say it last night and I forgot to. I have it literally on the top of my notes. I still forgot to say it. So I finally got to say it. It's been driving me nuts, and I wanted to say it on the stream to you guys. So, somebody said now I can't unsee it. And so Schwarber's beefy.
Yeah. He is. That guy can hit.
A lot of Scott says can't unsee it. So yeah, no, that was just my observation. It's my, I told you guys I'm a dumb, but that's my one observation from this, my completely original analysis that you won't hear anybody else. That Kyle Schwarber.
That's the X's and O's you'll get on this program.
That's right. That's how much baseball I know. I know when somebody looks like someone else. So guys, I quickly before we go, just want to remind you, go to Academy Sports and Outdoors. Truly, that helps us out and get all your stuff. We thank them for sponsoring the podcast. Go to Academy Sports and Outdoors, your local place. Go to Academy Sports or go to academy.com to get all of your Astros World Series wear.
New gear every day.
Yeah, new gear every day. They got all the sizes for your entire family, and including Kyle Schwarber. XXL, I think is what he wears.
Size
and we should all send him a triple XL Astros World Series shirt when it's when it's all said and done. Like, just get him a nice. That'd be a nice thing for Kyle Schwarber. I think we could all do that. We just need Astros need one more to close this out. Yep. We're going to be back here on Saturday. Hopefully, there won't be a Sunday broadcast.
Let's hope. Yeah.
If there is, we'll let you know. We're working on an extra broadcast. We'll let you know more about that once we get the green light on it. We're working with Academy for one more show, hopefully. But guys, thank you so much. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for coming each night. The crowd's gotten bigger and bigger each night, and we want to
please.
Yeah, hit subscribe. Really do appreciate all the participation. I want to say, I forgot what I was going to say. One more. Let's come back on Saturday. I want to keep it just, let's do one more game. But we're excited about, celebrating with you guys. So hopefully we get to do that. If not, we'll do a group therapy for everybody, and we can all get it over it together. We can all be in our fields together. So Josh, thank you so much for hanging with me tonight and doing a great job as you always do. Commenters, thank you. Mark, Jeremy, Andrew, Jonathan, Trevor, Mary, yes, sir. Bavera, Speedy, Warren, Pete, Palmer, Scott, MP, Arian, Zach, Maria, Chase, I think I said Mark, Andrew. So all you guys, Jonathan, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate the continued patronage. We'll see you on Saturday for Game 6 or after Game 6 of the World Series. Good night, guys. Go Astros.